For my entire fucking life, I've struggled deeply with a video game addiction. Ever since I started playing Minecraft at like the age of like 10, 11, and then I progressed onto like FPS shooters and things. The second I had my own freedom to do what I wanted with my own life, I just was always playing video games. I didn't focus on school anymore. I didn't focus on improving myself as a person. I was just so tunnel visioned in getting like global elite in CSGO. So many guys are struggling with the same addiction. They may or may not realize that it's an addiction. Like it's fucking, it destroys your life, and nobody seems to want to bring that up. Like no one wants to talk about how bad video games are. Instead of that, on YouTube you've got people promoting games like how to get Radiant in 24 hours, how to improve your positioning skills. Like, oh my god, bro. This is like such a big problem with our generation. Not even our generation, but like past generations. The average age of gamers is higher than I thought it would be. It's like something like 30 for guys, like around that age. And like that's crazy because you think like video games are for like teenage boys, but there are like adult men who play video games 18 hours a week. That's like a lot of time. That's a lot of fucking time, bro. The reason that they're so addictive is because like literally every guy has this. You may not think you have this, but you do. Part of the masculine energy is accomplish goals. It's to strive for purpose and accomplishments, you know? It's that whole like energy of like, okay, I'm gonna build a business. That is exactly what they replicate in video games. I mean, what's the point of having a ranking system or competitive system? Then there's also loot boxes. That's just gambling. Gambling is so addictive. People don't realize this, but there are people addicted to spending hundreds of pounds, hundreds of dollars on CSGO skins. I know because I used to do that too. I've probably spent like 500 quid or more since I moved to Thailand in the last 8 months. 500 quid or more just on Valorant skins, because in Thailand the currency is cheaper. But it all adds up, doesn't it? It's all like, what the fuck? Like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I spending money on video games? You know how you first start out a game, right? Like any kind of like League of Legends game or something, where they have like levels that you can go through. At the beginning, you level up quite quickly, but as time goes on, you level up less frequently and it takes longer to get there. And therefore you want that like dopamine release of like, oh, I ranked up, like that sound, like they have like a cue, like a noise cue, like, oh, this is gonna make you feel dopamine. And it does. It really does. They make you fucking addicted, bro. I'm sorry that my words aren't like coming out properly, but it's just, I've struggled for too long, and I've only just recently learned how to completely quit it out. So on to how to actually quit. There is no cheat code to just stopping all at once. That's not how I did it. And when I did try to do that, like stopping all at once, it actually ended up being worse for me. I just relapsed very, very hard. The way you want to think of it is the same way as building a habit. So the way you build a habit is the more often that you make a choice to do something, the more you progress that habit and build it up. So with video games, with quitting video games, you would try and gradually choose to not play. Maybe right now you play every day. That's okay. How about you start by putting a day in between, so that you play once every 2 days instead of once every day. And then you can add space in between those days, And that's basically how I did it. I put in space between how often I played, like the gaming sessions, and also I would lower the amount of time that I spent on them. Some days I'd play like 6 hours straight, which isn't very good, but it was still better than playing constantly every day, all the time. Eventually, I just got to the point where I kind of forgot about how addicting or how addicted to video games I was. Like, I spent weeks in between like gaming sessions, and now I'm at the point where I've just completely committed myself to just cutting it out completely. It's not like you suddenly stop playing. It just doesn't work like that, because that's not how you build habits. It's over time. And honestly, the key takeaway to this video is that you have to understand, with quitting or starting something, it takes time. It took me 9 months in total to actually go from playing video games 10 hours a day every day to 0 days. Everyone hates that phrase, it takes time, but it is true. And you're not gonna see the results that you want instantly, because that just doesn't happen. So I wish you all the luck, and I hope you found some value. Peace.